Hey guys, it's Pat. Welcome back to the next episode of the Hollowed Out Cigar Lounge. We are back in Fort Worth, sitting outside of Cigars International with our homeboy, Mr. Justin Lowry over here.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
So we are gonna smoke one that neither one of us have had. Found it on a random vape shop stop about a year ago. Let it rest. It is gonna be this bad boy. Hopefully, bad boy.
Right.
We don't know. We're gonna speak it into existence. This is the Perdomo Texas edition. So we had to smoke it in Texas, so I brought it over here to smoke it with you.
Exactly.
We just did another budget stick by Perdomo with Chad a few episodes back, but we're coming back because I'm physically in Texas, so why the hell not?
Let's do this.
So let's do this. Light these up. We had a little bit of an issue finding details about these online to actually give you some information, and that is because from everything that I found, this is only sold in Texas, which would be kind of crap if it's a Texas edition sold in New York or something like that.
That's interesting. That cold draw is actually that pecan note that we read. Wow, that's interesting.
It's like a pecan pie.
Yeah.
So, read this note, but I'm going to go and light them up because we got a good old Toro today. I want y'all to have a chance to smoke it with us. If you're not in Texas, sorry. Easy to toast. We are sitting outside, and it's the beginning of the year, and I can't tell you why. It's cold yesterday, not as cold today.
That's Texas for you.
That is Texas for you. Oh, missed the corner. That's party foul on my end. Very dry first hit. So they've been in the humidor for about a year, just because I hadn't known about them, and frankly, they came out of a vape shop, so I didn't know their humidor selection. The Frescos turned out well, so apparently they're doing well. But because I didn't know, these have been smoked or rested for about a year. But Mr. Justin got over here on the phone real quick. We had to pull this up on haveapremiumcigar.com. Had never used them before, didn't know anything about them, but we had a problem finding anything about this online to tell you because it's such a regional cigar.
It was the only one that had details.
Yeah, the only one that had details.
Yeah.
So all that we know is these couple little notes, right? It's a bit of a rustic wrapper with a prominent vein, which I see mine as well. Sure, you.
Yep, same.
So a veiny wrapper. Makes me want to know if it's a Corojo or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know about the...
But I don't think it says.
I don't know about the binder and filler, but I know it's in Ecuadorian Connecticut.
It's in Ecuador, Connecticut. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. It's more of a budget stick in price. I want to say I paid like $5 or $6 a piece for them, if I remember. It's a mildly spicy wrapper, a mild aroma, very clean draw with a pecan flavor, accentuating a medium to full tobacco note. The cigar is aptly named as it evokes the Texas notes of pecan, oak, and mesquite, which is
On point.
on point.
Yeah.
If you're not from the South, that is fall pecan pie and barbecue weather. That is 100% what we do.
That's Texas all over.
That is Texas.
And that's actually a good review because, like you said, the cold pull was pecan. I've gotten the mesquite straight up. Slight pepper in the beginning, but it is smooth. It's surprising.
Reading down here just a little bit, if you want to get even more Tejas,
Let's do it.
there are also hints of red pepper and the nuances of tacos and tamales in the smoke.
Okay.
Hints Tejas.
Yeah.
So, we're going to see what happens as we go here, but
So far, I like it.
and I'm really interested, since it's I can say it on this show, since it's a Perdomo smoke, we're going to hope the wrapper comes off. You know.
Yeah, that's really good.
It is actually, first hits are banging.
Now, I know I told you previous, I started off with a fresh palate. Have you had a cigar today?
I have not.
Okay.
I had way too many with you last night.
We had quite a lot last night.
And then I had another one after you left.
Okay.
So
Your palate was burnt out by the end of the night, I'm sure.
So I made sure not to smoke one on the way here, coming back to meet you. So
That's kind of good, though, because it's a new cigar for both of us, so we get the full flavor notes being on a clean palate.
y'all don't need to know what happened last night. It has nothing to do with the show. I got to see the man 2 days in a row, which is never happened before.
No, never happened before. It's a rare occurrence.
Rare occurrence. Usually it's meeting only for an event and nothing else, but we're able to plan a weekend to come over and hang out. So I said, why the hell not? We're going to do a freaking show in person.
Yeah.
And y'all can't see this, but this makes me feel at home. What was the name of this airbase? You told me.
Meacham Airport.
Meacham.
They might have changed it to Alliance Airport now, but off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
I know it for sure was used to be Meacham, but they play around with names and words.
I know you said it last year when we did the Cigar Vest video, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But anybody that's been with the show before we started doing remote stuff only, heard planes a lot. I had to edit out a lot because I was 0.3 miles from an airstrip. So
Yep.
that kind of makes me feel at home a little bit.
Makes me feel at home.
Yep.
I hear it every day at work.
And y'all can't see the front of the building because it's not an event day, but Cigars International was packed. So by the time I got here, there was no parking in the front where you could see the sign.
I was very surprised when I pulled in. I was like, "What's today?" I was
Because
like,
this
Saturday? I was
is
like,
this.
okay, it's kind of busy.
We arrived early afternoon. I was kind of surprised. It's usually like a late night crowd.
Yes, yeah, that's
So-
usually how that lounge works.
Kind of makes me wonder if I'm missing out on something.
No, because I went in there and talked to Gordon. And,
Okay.
it was just a normal. Oh, you know what it is? It's football season.
It is football
So a
season.
bunch of games are playing and everything. That's why it was. Yeah.
And you guys up north, Cigars International. Now there's some up north. Pennsylvania.
That's their main headquarters.
I feel like there's something else up north, but I know a lot of Texas and Florida type stuff, but they're up there as well. But if you haven't been to a CI, great online presence, which is why we try to use their information on the show, just because they have an expansive library of information for notes and details. But they have an indoor lounge, full humidor, outdoor lounge, and the indoor has the bar with the sports TVs and what the hell ever is going on.
There's like a TV on every wall, everywhere you look.
Yeah,
there's a TV.
so great place to hang out. They have free internet, so they let you do work. If your laptop work, which I've done. I've come up here on weekends and I've edited some shows sitting there. So
Okay.
it's good. Been a while. I've done it.
Yeah, this is my what you call a home lounge. It's 10 minutes from the house. I'm always here. I'm a regular. I know most of the staff. The manager, Mike, he's great. Gordon, our buddy, he's on the
Yep.
Hollow Down group.
Shout out, Gordon.
Yep, he's a good dude. Certified tobacconist, vast knowledge of tobacco. He's all
And
around
you,
good dude.
and you had mentioned this, but it'd be cool to have him on the show.
Yeah, I think
As
would be
someone that's on the other side,
in the industry, being a certified tobacconist.
because we talk to, obviously we have all of us who are smokers, which is where most of y'all are going to come into. We've become friends with several brand owners. One's been on the show, got more in progress. But we haven't talked to any tobacconists.
Right.
And that's the third wheel that sometimes we unfortunately forget about. You have the smoker and you have the producer, but you forget the guy in the middle putting them out there and talking to you about them. And
The guy that rings you up.
the guy that rings you up, the guy that's going to answer you questions. Every once in a while you go to a place where it's a clerk. But most of your cigar shops and your B&Ms are going to have somebody that is a tobacconist, taking time to read the products, know about the products, at least as much as possible.
Yes, and Gordon knows the history of companies. He knows all the plants, or the tobacco plant. He knows all the details of it. He's very well knowledgeable about everything.
And that's
I
what you
really
want.
enjoy sitting down and talking with him, and we've become good friends over the years.
And that's what you want. Now, was it him or was it somebody else? You mentioned in the past, and it may not have been on a show, it may have been in one of our herps, I don't remember, where you talked about when you first started smoking that you kind of went in the deep end and you had a tobacconist at a store that... Was it him?
That's Gordon.
Okay.
Yep, that's Gordon.
I didn't know if that just happened to be the same guy or not.
Yep,
So
no, that's Gordon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like in his case, he'll tell you he was kind of he's kind of the baby smoker of the group in age of smoking time, but didn't act like it because where some of us, myself included, went on the deep end on your own, and I went the wrong way, didn't know what the hell I was looking for, smoked the wrong crap, smoked it the wrong way, didn't know anything. He did it right and went and actually got some opinions by somebody who was able to coach him up a little bit, and you start figuring out what you like and what you don't like and kind of get some path direction. So
I feel like I was very fortunate because I think it'll be 2 years in January that I'll be smoking cigars, and I feel like I've done it the right way.
You haven't even hit 2 years yet?
No, it'll be 2 years, January 26th.
He's more of a baby than I thought.
I'll be back here smoking on my anniversary, take the day off of work and enjoy myself. But I feel very fortunate. I've talked to the right people, met the right people, and just, like I said, I've done it all right. I've bought samplers to figure out what I like.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah, and then bought boxes from there. And like we were talking about last night, for me being in the cigar world for such a short period of time, I've met so many people that are major, like, celebrities or whatever you want to call it, people that are very involved.
To me, they're celebrities.
Right, they're very involved. Like, we were fanboying, we got our boxes signed, and I had a pirate hat that I brought Henderson and got that signed, and I just feel very fortunate that I've been in the right path. And it seems like this past 2 years of the cigar world has just blown up extremely. Like, all the drops that's happened, a lot of the companies are doing all these nuanced things. Like, I feel like I got into the cigar world at the right time.
Dude, me and Chad had an episode towards the end of the year. All right, Nat, I love you too, buddy.
Yeah, he was on me a second ago.
I literally, it was the Diamond Crown show we did, actually. That's the one it was.
Yeah.
And I literally just put the title of specialties because we spent half the show talking about special drops. I mean, and we didn't even touch a tenth of them.
No, not at all. So,
and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing if you drop too much. And at, the ADV event when we ran into Henderson, we were lucky enough to talk to him. If you were, member of the page at the time, you saw the pictures, but he talked about, trying to not push out product too fast.
Yep.
So that way you add value to it. You have customers' heart and mind, and you have a good product, which is almost identical to what y'all saw Greg Free say as well. So you have, it's one thing to push out product fast to sell, which is great for intro. If you don't, you just want to get people into it. But when you want to have longevity and quality, keep your consumers in mind, which is very hard to do without having, whether it's you or a rep that's personable, to reach out to your base and talk to them. And having that knowledge passed down to your tobacconists so they can, when the rep's not around.
Yep.
And that's a big thing that goes unsaid. We've talked about several tobacconists. I'm not going to sit here and list names because then I'm going to forget somebody that we've talked about a lot of in some of our different shops. And some of them be names y'all know. Some of them are in this group. Some of them are not. But a good tobacconist can lead you down a proper path and get you going.
Yeah. A rabbit hole.
Right there. Very good rabbit hole.
Yeah, and speaking of drops, we found out that there were I think it was just one CI exclusive, which was the Explorer in the torpedo shape.
Yeah, so, and Henderson kind of said that too, that if it's anywhere else, it happened by accident or third party.
Right.
So, may not be a quote, but pretty damn close.
And then he's also got the Royal Return Barber Pole that's coming out.
I'll be anxious to see what happens. I haven't got my hands on it. At some point I will, hopefully. But I say that about a lot of drops, so It's impossible to hit them all.
It's the FOMO of the cigar world.
It is.
Our boy Chad, which we're always going to mention, there's no way we
Can't.
He was like, I'm going to be good, and then next thing you know,
he's posting his, the bad boy.
Yeah, he's like, I got all the drops.
So much for being a good boy.
I think the only one that none of us got was the Black Angus that just dropped.
Nope, I don't think any of us got it. All right, so I wasn't going to bring this up unless it was a thing. This is more of a budget stick, even though it's a regional connoisseur stick. I'm going to put this picture up in a second, but we have double caps, but they're inconsistent double caps. I think Justin has the longer one. His is a good probably 4 millimeters longer. His seems to be holding up. Now he did a straight cut, I did a V cut, which this cap was still down to here. So I don't know if this will zoom in on any one of these cameras you see. There's plenty of space there where this should not be an issue. I haven't had to hit the first ash yet, and it's already cracking a little bit.
I see
And
that.
to show you this, if it'll focus out here, I know phone stuff is a little funny, but that crack right there, it's not going to focus at all, is it? That's cool. Anyway, y'all get the idea. We're going to see how it holds together. And some of that's just inconsistency among your budget lines. It tastes great.
For a budget line, it's really good. I like the flavor. It's still got that woodiness. It's still got the pecan. The draw is perfect, but that's usually what happens with Perdomo.
Ash is good, stacking dimes, but they're leaning a little like a tire pizza.
Yeah,
so we're gonna see if it'll
mine's got
hang
a little
on.
burn issue right there, but I'll let it ride. That's kind of
See if it fixes itself or not.
Yeah.
Mine's dead even.
But the flavor is on point.
Flavor is on point.
I really like it. It's definitely Texas edition, Texas style with the mesquite and the pecan.
So if you like the Dunbar and red meat lovers that we mentioned on the Thanksgiving show with Ryan, that is great for grilling. That's kind of where it was catered to. It's got those seasoned notes, those flavors. In a different way, I feel like this kind of has the same feel, in a way, like more of a winter cigar.
Or like a brisket.
Right.
Instead of a steak.
I had meat in my head, but I couldn't pull it out. But that is a very accurate specificity.
Brisket is
That's
Texas.
the right word. Specificity. Did I actually say an English word?
That's the dictionary over there.
Specificity. Like
Specifically?
Like no, the specificness of something is called.
That's a word, yeah.
But am I saying it right? I know it's a word. Specificity. The grammar queen
I'm
over
not
here
even
is
gonna
also
attempt to
saying it
say it.
wrong. So the specifics of.
Alright, I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah, make sure it doesn't go too far.
Yeah.
So, nothing wrong with letting a cigar try to fix itself, but if it doesn't, give it a little love.
I think I got my OCD about how the cigar burns from Tim Swanson, because he always talks about how he's OCD about how it burns, and I'm
Right.
the same way. Anytime it gets a little out of hand, I tend to burn it. But with the Perdomo, Nick Perdomo specifically says if you pinch and roll the side that's not burning, it will pinch against the ash, and then it'll even out itself without having to use a lighter.
Which is true in most cases, as long as the construction is made well.
Yeah, most of the time.
And as long as you're not clumsy and will knock off the end of your cigar.
Yeah, that can happen. Most of the time when I roll it and stuff like that, it does a good job of fixing itself.
It's going to fall. My ash is starting to creep.
Flip it to the other side.
Well, I was
There you go.
trying to see how long. Because you normally don't get like long ash rolls on a budget smoke.
Yeah,
So it's got potential. I'm curious to see what happens here.
I'm gonna keep mine going. I'll ash on myself if I need to.
Very smoky indeed, though.
Yeah,
Which we've mentioned lately. I think the Diamond Crown was the first one that wasn't just like super smoky output like 4 or 5 shows. We've had some really damn good smoky cigars, which on one hand it just looks cool, for being honest. But on the other hand, when you have extra smoke output, I think Chad probably said it the best, not to just cater to him, but
no, he did.
he did, is it presents the body of the cigar to you in a more flavorful manner just because it's hitting more palate notes at one time.
Yeah, that was a great explanation.
So, great way to think about it, you know. And the same thing with, you know, vapors. The smoke looks cool, but it's also introducing more of it at a time. So it's the same thing, same physics. Your taste buds, you know, your palate's getting more contact, and that's just simple anatomy. That's where your flavor comes from. And a little bit from your aromatics and your smell. More smoke equals more smell.
Yeah.
It's just the whole gambit. But, this has been in the back of my head. I try to not do this on the show. However, I don't think I can avoid this one because it's kind of pissing me off a little bit.
Let's talk about it, brother.
So, what I'm about to reference, I'll be coy and tell you that we're going to go on politics for just a moment. I'm going to try my best not to give you too much opinion other than the fact that I'm really pissed off about it. But about the time we're recording this is when these final decisions are going to be made. So by the time you see this, there may or may not be a final decision yet. So if I'm a little bit behind due to editing, we'll try to come back and circle it around. But state of Massachusetts over the last few months especially has gone into the tobacco control war, I think, a little bit too much. They have taken our lovely NFG Texas coin and turned it into some dumb shit called the nicotine free generation. Now, it is not specifically coined or aimed at cigars. However, instead of creating regulation for tobacco sales based on age, which has been a thing just like alcohol forever, and some would argue that alcohol is worse, but that's a whole different conversation because they're different evils, let's be real.
Yeah, because it started off as 18 and then now they bumped it up to 21.
Right.
And so they're trying to progressively get more and more, but what they're doing now is...
It's a generational ban. That's what they're calling it. And the proposal at the time of this recording last seen was that if it were to finally pass on a statewide level, there are some cities who have created ordinances with this, but on a state level, which, as you all know, once a state passes anything, it gives other states precedence and it can turn into a national nightmare on any legal issue. But the proposal was that if it passes, anybody born after the date of that bill's passing cannot be sold tobacco. Now, with current laws, that would basically mean the next 18 years it's null and void. But then once that person will become 18 and legal age to get it, can't buy cigars or cigarettes or loose tobacco
Vapes.
or pipe tobacco. They're crossing it over with the FDA, trying to use the Surgeon General's information to say that anything flavored is bad, which has been a war in itself also. So it could potentially cause a problem. Now, just like what happened with alcohol prohibition, all that's going to happen is people are going to go get it elsewhere and bring it back, and then you have all kinds of legal issues, and it's a mess. So hopefully it doesn't go that far, but it's an
issue.
It's an issue because we have a lot, and I'm not saying that these are healthy devices. We are all aware of this. However, it is not a death machine, and it is something enjoyable. And if I'm going to be simply put, it's an adult choice. We're all about choice, and I'm definitely not getting into that conversation, but if you're going to let adults choose this, anything that doesn't harm somebody else is a personal choice.
Yeah.
So, and I think we have bigger fish to fry than trying to cut out legally, safely, organically produced tobacco. Can't say any more than that because, like I said, at the time of this recording, we don't know how far this bill has gone. Just something to watch out for. I know the Cigar Rights of America webpage has been doing a good job of keeping up with these things. So if you want more information or to see if this has been updated since we recently recorded this, by all means, go to the CRA website, check it out. But something to keep an eye on, especially if you're in Massachusetts. And if it passes, then the whole Northeast, because that's usually how things happen, is they start spreading from state to state. So we shall see. But I don't like it either way.
Back on the cigar,
Yeah, thank you for pulling me off of that.
No, you're good. No, I wasn't even trying to. I just noticed, like, it's Texas edition. It's got the pecan. It's got the wood. It's got, like we were saying, the brisket kind of feel to it. Even the color. I mean, you can see it. It's got that pecan, wood, and meat color to it. Like you said,
just started getting
if it's
that
a
wood.
budget stick, I wouldn't know if you told me. You know what I mean? Like, I smoke it and I'm like, this has got to be a premium one. Oh, there it goes.
So we got about an inch and a half.
I'm right behind you.
That was a solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't ask them yourself,
I
so
did not ask myself.
I probably will, knowing me. I'm going to keep on going.
That smoke output's legit. Just gotta make sure it picks back up.
This is a great cigar. I really enjoy it. I'm very surprised by the price and by the flavor.
Well, I can tell you the vape shop that had them. I can't, and I say that because we tried to find them online. We had a problem finding them just for the review purposes to get those notes. I've never heard of that website before. And I know a lot of websites. I haven't heard of that one.
I know that Total Wine and More carries them, but they
Okay.
carried the big one, Lancero or whatever. It was a massive stick.
Like
That's
almost like an A size,
like a
almost.
Churchill Gordo. Like,
Oh.
yeah, it was
Okay.
like when I could like Texas, big Texas, all that. When I first saw it, I was like, "That's a big stick," and I didn't get it. That's why when we first started, I was like, "Hey, what size are these?" 'Cause I didn't know
okay.
if you got the.
I'd
big-
only seen it in the Toro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hadn't seen that one.
No, yeah, this one is, and I don't know all the sizes, but they have it in a Robusto, they have it in a Toro, and I think they have it in like a Churchill Gordo, Texas
Okay.
style. Go big or go home.
Facts.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a good cigar.
So, and I guess this should be somewhat expected as a Perdomo product, minus the bands. I'm sorry, Nick. It's a thing. Until it's fixed, I'm probably going to talk trash about it. It's the only complaint I have about your cigars, brother. The only one. Back off the glue. Back off the glue.
Well, surprisingly,
We're going to find out in a minute.
this.
Oh.
I was doing a little twisty.
We might get slow-mo of the twist.
That's all right. Got
As
on my
we like to
leg,
make
didn't
fun
get
of
on my
ourselves.
shirt.
You can blame. You haven't met Matt, but you can blame him for that because I got him twice. He's only been on a couple episodes, and I got him twice with slow mos and ash. So now it's a trend. That's why we got Ryan.
Maybe you'll get me.
I almost got me recently, but we had switched to the 3-screen on the, and you couldn't quite see it.
Yeah.
'Cause I was gonna go make fun of myself too, but we were in the wrong camera, so I didn't get it recorded. But
As far as the glue, like mine's loose. It's good. It's good
Well-
to go. And that footband came off really easy too.
mine is not, so we will see. So the top is where there's no glue. And if you don't know, I'm going to say this and get off of it because we say it a lot. Perdomo's banders just have an issue with using a little too much glue, and sometimes the pectin will come off that underlayer and stick to the cigar itself. So if you're not careful and you take it off too fast, you can end up destroying the wrapper of your cigar.
So
The only hit I have of his
I
cigar.
don't know if you've seen the video of Nick Perdomo. He tells everyone to remove the band at the very
He
last
does.
moment.
Which tells me he knows the problem's there.
Yeah. Well,
Because the other brand owners don't have to say that.
yeah.
And I'm not trying to talk trash, but
Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe he does it on purpose so the band stays on to showcase
Maybe.
the cigar.
maybe.
Because I don't know, certain cigar smokers, they remove the band right when they start smoking. I don't like to do that. If I'm smoking a specific brand, I want to see it the whole time I'm
The
smoking.
only time I do that, period, is if I'm specifically smoking a yard guard and I'm going to have work gloves on and I know I'm not going to be able to get the band. But
That's a
at
good
that
point.
point, it's a yard guard and I don't care as much anyway.
I think the only time I do
But-
it is when I'm at like Destin, Florida, or a beach location because I don't want to leave the cigar with
Litter
the
control.
wrapper on. Right. And
That's fair, too.
Destin's actually, I don't know if you know this about Destin, it's one of the few places that you can only smoke a cigar on the beach. They do not let you smoke cigarettes because this is a biodegradable product.
I knew you could smoke cigars there. I did not know that.
Yeah, you can only smoke cigars on the beach in Destin. You cannot smoke anything else.
That's good. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not smoking a cigar. I'm smoking a mini cigar. So, I guess it's the filter and the paper they're concerned about. That makes sense, though. That's
Yeah,
fair.
the filters, they're
Hey, Mexico, catch up.
dude. Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm going there in April, and I'm bummed that I can't just
It's-
walk around and smoke a cigar. We're going
used
to
to.
Paradise Beach Resort
Yeah.
when we get off, and I was like, man, I can't wait to have a cigar on the beach. And I was like, wait a minute, I can't. I have to go to their smoking section, which means it sucks because then that pulls me away from my family and friends. It's my birthday cruise, so I'm like, now I got to sit for an hour, not by myself, but away from my family and friends.
And we know they can say all the ploys they want, but if it was a safety or health regulation, it would be a no smoking, period. But getting you off the public places is making you go into businesses where you have to spend money. It's just like a lot of other things that, because it doesn't say you can't smoke in Cosmo.
Yeah.
It says you can't smoke in public areas of Cosmo, but the businesses can make the decision to allow you to smoke. So that means you got to go into business. Most businesses, you can't go in and partake of their services for free.
Right.
You're spending money. So there's tax money and tourism money that comes into the city.
It's a little bit of a tourist trap.
It's just a tourist trap. It is. Call it like it is. It is what it is.
This just reminded me, smoking the Perdomo Texas edition, and I brought some Whataburger Dr. Pepper.
Tejas Buggers. We have a couple over in Louisiana but they are stretched pretty far between. So I don't go very often because the line is stupid. It's like Chick-fil-A lines without Chick-fil-A service.
The worst.
So it's just a bad combination.
There's one right by my house. I stopped on the way here to have a 23 flavors drink.
Told you.
Me and
I gotta show this to I gotta show that to Audrey. See if she remembers.
me and Chad always have the same.
My
opinion.
Audrey, not your Audrey.
Yeah, I knew. Me and Chad tend to have the same opinion. I'm sure you do too. Dr. Pepper is probably one of the best non-alcoholic drinks to have with a cigar, no matter what it is. It could be Maduro, Corojo, Connecticut. See, I didn't even see that.
I got it hidden over here. Because it's got, we do pairings with cigars for the flavor notes. You know, it's like you're usually going to smoke, most of the time, you're going to smoke more of a coffee with a Connecticut that's got, you know, a little bit of mild spice. Mix is great.
I do it every morning.
You're going to, most people, if you drink, smoke a scotch or a bourbon with a darker Maduro because the barrel notes kind of pull out. Dr. Pepper in the soda world, just because it has all those different flavors, it kind of mixes well with whatever various notes, so it's more compatible with more flavors and more brands.
Yeah.
Especially with a pecan pie.
Yeah, this is pecan and mesquite the whole way through. I can definitely see why.
I feel like I'm smoking a damn train over here.
I can definitely see why they named it the Texas Edition, because it is those exact flavor notes
It is.
that website was.
So, marketing, good job.
Sponsored by Aeronautics.
Yeah, I couldn't see the tip. Was that an 18? 16?
It's an 18.
18?
Yep.
I could barely see it far enough to tell.
That's funny that you mentioned that. I bought my son or not bought, but like they give out calendars at work in Lockheed, and I got him a calendar for all the airplanes.
Hell yeah.
And he was like, Dad, what's this airplane? And I was like, this. Dad, what's that airplane? It's F-35. Dad, what's the airplane? It's F-16. He's like, how do you know all that? I'm like, son, that's what I do for a living. I can look at maps of the sky and know exactly what they are. But I think I've mentioned this before. I'm second generation, so my father worked for Lockheed
Oh, that's
Martin.
right. I forgot about
so
that.
my whole entire life, I've looked at airplanes, and my mom, I've never mentioned this, my mom is retired from Delta Airlines. So my whole immediate family, and my sisters were gate attendants. So my whole immediate family are all in the aeronautics industry.
Different aspects of aviation.
Exactly, yeah. We have the commercial side, and we have the military side.
So I only got to spend 4.5 years in because of my knee injury, which I've mentioned.
Yep.
But I was a helicopter mechanic while I was in the Marines. And about the time I started getting good is when my injury happened. So unfortunately, there's guys that got to do better, smarter, deeper things. Timing sucks. But I got on a conversation the other night with one of the charge nurses while I was over in the ER. He is also a flight medic. And we just went full nerd talking about different engines between the different brands and what brand of helicopter, different medical companies and what brand of helicopters they use, which one's got faster speed, better storage capacity, what's got what engines, single engine, twin engine, how the exhaust is, how the patient comes in. Like, we went full nut, and one of the doctors walked in and was like, what the f- are y'all talking about? And we're like, choppers. He's like, nerds.
Yeah, see, that's not
Then
my
he walked
world.
over and he's like, why are you talking about it? He's the flight medic. I was like, and now he was prior military, so I was like, it was my MOS, and he's like, okay, so 5 years of conversations immediately make sense.
Yeah.
I told him that I was in the Marines. I guess I never told him what I did.
Yeah, it's not something that really comes up unless you're another
Right, unless you're
military person.
Right.
You're like, what's your MOS? But
And-
a lot of people, you ask someone, they're like, that's not military, they're like, what's MOS? I don't know what that is, but if you're military, you automatically know what that is. And I only know what that is because I've got tons of friends and I'm in the aeronautical industry, so I know all that kind of stuff.
Those of you who don't, it's just military occupational specialty. It is the designator. Marines, we have a 4-digit number. The Army has a number letter combination. There's different standards, but doesn't matter what branch you're in, it's basically your job title. So that's how they contract this. Different contract links for different jobs. Has to do with your promotions, your skill set, what you're attached to. Just like any other civilian corporation, it determines where you're at. So Anyway, moving on.
This ash is holding well now. I mean, that's stacking down good there.
Yeah, my second one is holding pretty good, so I'll tell you. We are now 2 for 2 on the show with Perdomo budgets. And that wasn't the plan of just showing their budgets first. It just kind of happened because it was like, screw it, let's try these out. But I may have to put my hands on these every once in a while, find them over here.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to
I wonder if Specs has them. Since they're a Texas, mostly a Texas store, I wonder if they have them.
They could. Like I said, I know Total Wine down the road has it for sure. Well, it's been a while since I've been back in the liquor store.
I'm over here this weekend. Today is a Saturday.
You got till 9.
Because they won't be open tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's closed on Sundays.
Yeah, you can stop by. They're like 5
Texas hard liquor sales are closed on Sundays. Well, Shreveport, you can walk in the store, but they'll let you buy beer, so the store is open, so you can get to the humidors, but like Specs is closed.
That's the Bible Belt states for you.
Yeah, it's just hardcore closed. Louisiana, Louisiana does it, but Shreveport specifically has a little bit different. Like, you can go across the river and it's similar, but you can buy some things here, some things can't buy there. But
Okay.
you can get into the store. So theirs isn't on alcohol sales, it's liquor sales. So what they'll do is if a store that sells both, like we have the Thrifty Liquors in the region,
That's right, you were mentioning that last podcast.
they will chain off. So they make sure that their shelves are set up so you have to have them separated. So the hard liquor section will be chained off, but you can still get to like the beer.
Oh, okay.
So they base it on alcohol content, and I forget what the number is, but it's like anything above that's considered hard liquor, can't sell it.
Now, do they do the same thing in Louisiana? They won't let you buy beer till 12 on Sundays? Because they do that in Texas.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know because I'm still asleep.
Well, in Texas,
I don't
they
know.
won't let you buy they won't even let you buy beer until
Unless
12
our
o'clock.
off-camera director over here can tell us.
When I worked at Berkshire's years ago, you could buy alcohol, like beer, on Sundays, and we sold it all day, and they were open until like 8 or 9 at night.
Okay, so probably not a time thing then.
Yeah, in Texas, you can't buy beer until afternoon.
Oh, and, I think it's 7 a.m.
Oh, okay, so it's different.
Although it
Which
just sold at
most of the
6:30.
bars are allowed to stay open until 5 or 6, so I guess that's letting them close and reset the day.
Yeah, see, here in Texas, it's 2 a.m., but even then, last call's at 1 o'clock or 1:30.
Only part of Louisiana has bars after 10.
This does have a lot of smoke output.
It does. Very smoky, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah, those are my favorite
All right,
cigars.
I'm like half an inch, so we're gonna do this.
Yeah, it's good.
Sounds good. This is the part I'm always worried about right there. Hell yeah. And you can see the mark of where all the pectin was not overloaded. There's like, and this isn't going to show up on camera, I'm not going to pretend, there's a micro dot.
Yep.
That's it. I'm happy. Good shit. You have no idea how much, oh no, y'all probably do by now, how much of that excites me because I mentioned it. And I try not to mention their brand, but it's like, no, I'm not gonna go backwards. We have mentioned it vaguely. I'm not gonna go beat a dead horse.
I'm surprised that we haven't put
But you're
more
so good
Perdomos
at
on the
it.
list to smoke. We should. Because they have so many, the champagne, the bourbon, the...
Well, I do have some. It's just we have the ones that we've set up for when our remote group can get together.
The OGs.
In my 70-liter humidor, I have the 2 drawers that are completely full of doubles and triple cigars that I want to review. And that was set up when it was just like me and Derek or me and Johnny. So if I get a pack of something, I'm like, oh, this would be good. I'll pull 3, put them in the drawer, and not touch them. So I have a lot of things to smoke that are all over the damn place. Rocky Patel's, Victor Sinclair's, got a couple more Dissonance to smoke. I got a lot of the Blackbirds in there. There's a lot.
Since
A whole lot. I can't even tell you what all's in there anymore.
Since I've joined the show, I've got my own humidor dedicated to show smokes now. So,
That's what's up.
yeah.
It's dedication.
Yeah, I don't want to smoke them because
Right.
then I'm like, well, then I got to go find it, or I'm going to be left out.
You're
and
going
I'll
to
have
smoke it,
FOMO.
and then we're going to send a message. Hey, you want to do this cigar? Damn it, got to go buy it.
Speaking of which, last night we were talking about a specific ADV blend I don't want to mention yet.
That's right, and you did the same thing.
I bought another one last night, and then I went into the humidor that I have for the show smokes. I was like, I I guess I didn't smoke it. So now I got 2, so now I get to enjoy it whenever I want.
Darn.
Right.
It's going to be the next ADV show that we do when it's all for the OGs, because we'll say what it is. It's Aventure's Blue Eye Jack, because Ryan has not smoked one yet. So
Shout out to Ryan.
So we told him it would be interesting, since the other 3 of us have smoked it. We just want to bring it to the show. It will be a blind test for him, so it'll be kind of cool to watch that one.
We need the master palate.
Dr. Palette.
Is that what I call him? Dr.
Dr.
Palette?
Palette.
Dr. Palette to join in.
I'm pretty sure that was his brother that gave him the nickname, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Chad's up there too, but I can pull out a lot of notes, and then Ryan can pull out, like, if I were to say, this is the example I use, if I was to say, I'm tasting some sort of baking spice, he'd be like, oh, it's paprika dashed with a little bit of nutmeg.
Right, yeah.
Maybe not that far, but you get the idea.
No, that's the one that I pick up that most people don't, is the nutmeg. I think, I forget which smoke we mentioned that on, but that's the one I picked up that no one else was picking up. But every now and then I'll get those subtle, detailed of those flavors.
And shit, you even pulled up, what was it, the La Llorona? I think you pulled up the umami?
Yeah, umami, yeah. And I actually mentioned that to Anderson last night. He was like, never heard of that word. And I'm like, well, it means meaty, bacon. He was like,
because it's a Japanese term,
right,
so...
exactly, yeah, no, but he liked that word, and he was like, that makes sense, because they have bacon listed on the...
Homage to Derek.
Oh, yeah. That's a smoky cigar. But anyways...
And that I'm sorry, that camera's like 4 feet away, and you still saw the smoke, so...
It's a lot of smoke.
Smoky.
No, I was just saying the difference between Ryan and mine's palate. Like, his is more extensive than mine, but mine's just underneath his.
Ooh. What is that?
You get something?
It's not much of a transition, but there's something there. So we've already had the pecan, we've already had... It may just be the pepper just pulled out more.
No, I'm getting...
There's something... And we're about the same transition point.
We are the same, for once.
Same, for once. So it's not a sweet, so it's not a pecan molasses, it's not like a brown sugar.
Ooh, look at the moon.
There
I almost want to say
is...
it's a cinnamon, but not...
Which would line out with if the pecan's pulling out.
Yeah, pecan pie.
Pecan pie. Because it's a spice, but it's like, it's not a bitter spice, it's not a peppery spice. It's
not nutmeg, it's not cinnamon.
Not pumpkin spice. That would be, I don't know if I would...
The moon is full.
The moon is full. Can you, if you look, hold on, let's see if I can do my, I pointed the right way. Look, right there. Had to find it. Just coming over the building right there. And in real time, that is gorgeous as shit.
Now that's gonna bother me. I can't think of the actual spice that I'm tasting.
It may very well be a cinnamon, because
What did you say?
that could be cardamom. So it's cinnamon-ish, but it doesn't have the sweet tones that cinnamon has. It has that little like seasonal spice, like Christmas spice that you kind of
Yes.
get.
Yeah.
That's probably the most accurate we're gonna get. That's probably, I think we're gonna go with that, because that's probably pretty accurate.
That's just easier to just say like bakery spice.
And that's why we do, because it kind of gives you the type of spice that you get in like pies or. No puff pass, just puff.
It's not that kind of show.
Not that kind of
there
show.
goes my cigar. I mean my ash.
I'll tell you though, before I lose this, I'm gonna use Justin's camera here because it's right close. Of course, it's still gonna focus on his ugly mug, but you see the point.
Slid off, nice and perfect.
This is good though, man. I'm very excited that we decided to pull this out, because I'm not gonna lie. Even though the last Perdomo budget, the Fresco Maduro, was fantastic. Banger $6 stick. It doesn't have transitions. And even for Chad, who has a deeper palate, loved it. So, and it's one I didn't send you because I literally had 2.
Yeah,
because I thought it was going to suck.
That one yet. I need to find it.
I thought it was going to suck. Now, you can't get the bundles. You know what? I think CI might actually have them in the bundles, but it's on the cheaper side, so it may be over there in the pack section.
In the 5-pack section. Yeah.
It might be. I'm not sure. interesting to see.
Again, shout out to Cigars International.
Right. They're cool about letting us. Now, we could go inside. They've offered to do the patio, but I don't want to interrupt other patrons doing their business. So, a couple times we've done this, we record outside. So,
And I don't know if you want to mention what we were discussing earlier. We might have an opportunity to go inside.
yeah, so we are talking. He's mentioned, Gordon, we're going to play, maybe in a future avenue when I can get back over here to the Texas side and maybe get him on a show and actually get some input from a tobacconist so y'all can hear things from the middle point. We do that. They're going to let us use one of the employee rooms to actually do that because we'll be talking to an employee, so that's a little different.
It's got a nice little tobacco background and everything like that. It's a cool spot. Matter of fact, it's the same spot that me, him, and shout out to Terrence Riley from Aganorsa. He had a Fuma experience here. Oh, there goes your ash.
I might get slow-mo today.
We had a good conversation there. We were talking about Fumas and the growing and all that. So it's a cool little room. I think it would be a great idea once you guys come back into town.
Speaking of Fumas, it's in the world, and if you're a cigar smoker, you know this. Shout out to Brickhouse on this one. Not a Brickhouse show. We did it on an earlier show, but most Fumas, different from seconds. Seconds are basically ones that have some small imperfections, right? It looks good, no band, because maybe when they put in the mold, it got a little crease in it, or it just didn't cap just right, or
not worthy of a band.
Not worthy of a band, But the Fumas, most brands are taking the extra scraps when they're taking their flagship line, and they use those extra pieces to not waste product, and they'll make a secondary stick. Most of the time, because your blends are not ratioed as specifically designed from the primary blend, you get some taste inconsistencies. The Brickhouse Maduro Fumas is the one I've had so far that tastes like 95% like the original.
Now, is that the Maduro or the Connecticut?
The Maduro. The Connecticut is a little bit milder than it's already mild to Connecticut, but it's a little bit milder. I don't know how or why, but the Maduro Fumas is almost identical to the point. If I'm in a Brickhouse, I usually just go get the Fumas because they're cheaper, and it tastes so similar. You can taste the difference.
I'll try that out. It's the same
It's
thing.
so similar.
They have Oliva Seconds.
Yep.
And I bought like a pack of the Nub Habanos, and those are very good for being a second.
Those are too.
Just like I said, without a band.
If you want to try it, next time I come over, I'll bring you a Brickhouse Maduro's Fumas because I just bought, well, not just, but I have a bundle. I recently bought a bundle. I haven't opened yet, so I'll throw you one. And I'm pretty sure, I know I got some of the regular Fumas for a pre-bought for the next CFW drive, but I'm pretty sure I also have some Maduro Fumas left. I think I've got a bundle I haven't opened yet, so.
You got to do what Chad does and just set a little box aside and put my name on it.
Right, yeah. And I'm not going to put it on the show because it's one we've already done before all y'all got involved, but
yeah,
we've only got one cigar so far that we purposely want to duplicate, and that'll be me and Chad's show because me and Chad did it. Because I only have a very, very few. It was a one-time release, the Cigar Dojo Yasuke.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
That we got lucky and both got a bundle of when they dropped from Smoke Inns.
And you guys said you were going to let it age, right?
So the second bundle is in a Suppador, and I ain't touching it for a while.
Let it age.
I'm going to let it age. The first ones I'm going to smoke. We smoked a couple. We're going to give it either 6 months a year. Because we smoked that one at like the 6-week point. So, on purpose. Because we were impatient as shit. But we'll do it again and see what it turns into. But most of the time I don't want to repeat because there's so many things to smoke and talk about and review on the show. Just keep throwing different brands, different lines, different things out.
Yep.
Just throw it all over the place. But it's a good one. I'll give one to you because I think we're pretty close in palate enjoyment. So I think you would like it as well. Have you had the original Brickhouse Maduro?
No, I've had the Connecticut.
Okay. So
I had another one, but then I put it in my CFW.
They're roughly twice the price, or almost twice the price. So at some point, try them both. And I'm curious if you get the same.
I wish I could see the face on the soldier that gets the one that I sent because it's American flag. It's the Brickhouse, Connecticut. He's probably going to pick it up and be like, "Hell yeah, America!"
Yeah, because it does have the brick. And that's a JC Newman thing. Like we talked about.
In the last
it was
podcast,
on
the Black Diamond.
On the Black Diamond podcast,
Yep.
we talked about their American line. That's literally just an American flag shield look. So I did look that one up. I have had that one because I was questioning it on the show. I was like, I think I've had this one, and I have.
It's a double Connecticut. It's a Connecticut wrapper, Connecticut binder, and then.
Which I'm not a huge fan of Connecticut as a select line. that's in there.
Same, yeah. Yeah, we're more of the Corojo, Maduro,
Just like
Connecticut broadleaf.
Fortaleza Libre, still haven't reprogrammed that in my head, and he was just on the show.
I'm not even going to attempt to say that yet.
Fortaleza is just
Fortaleza.
It's just straight. It's the Spanish word for spring.
Oh,
so a lot of
okay.
times, if you're looking up the strength or intensity of cigars, some companies, I know Salca likes to do this a lot. He'll say Fortaleza, and that's just strength. It's the closest that you have in American translation, but that's pretty much what we refer to it as.
Okay.
But the Sun Country is Connecticut. That is not a Connecticut at all.
Oh, okay.
It's Connecticut wrapper, but the inside has Ligero, and they actually include, I believe, the San Andres wrapper in the blend
That's
on the inside.
Okay.
Because he was telling us that when he was doing the blend that they were calling him idiot because like this ain't gonna work, and it's one of the best sellers. So it's a Connecticut, but it's not.
That reminds me of the AJ Fernandez New World. It's got a Connecticut wrapper, but it's got a San Andreas binder. That's like my second favorite Connecticut. Sombra Mesa Brûlée is my favorite.
That one is fantastic.
Yeah, but then the New World Connecticut, I always have them on hand. They're one of my favorite Connecticut's.
There are some, but you know, like the darker stuff, like the deeper profile stuff, and that's just, you know, like when we've said on the show, we had, going back to Henderson, we talked about this, some of the lighter stuff, the more flavored stuff, your intro stuff that people like Acid do, they're good cigars, but I don't go back to them anymore because my palate has just progressed into deeper, darker stuff. So there's like one or two that I'll smoke every once in a while. Like, I forget their names. I think the Cuba's one. It's good. It's just, it's not something I go back to anymore. You know, your palates grow and change. You figure out what you want.
What I tend to do is that I'll smoke, you know, we always smoke Maduros, Connecticut broadleafs, all that. I'll smoke them a bunch, and then I can kind of sense that my palate's getting burnt out on that, so then I'll change up to Connecticut's, then I'll work up to a Habano, Corojo, and then I'll go back to the darker stuff.
And same reason, if you know you're going to smoke multiple in a day, you kind of start smoking lighter just so you don't overload your palate so you can still enjoy the last
That's what I
one.
did yesterday. I started with a, always mess up.
La Llorona.
La Llorona, can't even say it.
Llorona. 2 L's equals Y.
Yeah, there you go. I smoked that one in the morning, and then I smoked the King's Gold because Henderson handed it to me. I'm not going to turn it down when he hands me a cigar. And then after that, what did I smoke?
You showed me.
Oh, I smoked the Secreto.
Sociedad.
Yeah, Sociedad.
Sociedad Secreto.
Yeah.
I've got one left.
They're good.
They're good.
And I'll surprise you, this cigar is not plug for me.
Is there a bucket of like leprechaun treasure somewhere?
Smoking like
So
a champ,
you had to get a Texas cigar to not have an issue?
I guess.
What a piece of trash. Again, if you know, you know. Anyway, so worst part of the show. Gotta start wrapping things up. One on time, two. Sun's about to drop on us, which we wanted to do in this time of day. Just worked out for many reasons. But do what? It is the moon. I don't know if you can. I think it's gotten a little too high to see off the camera, but it is fantastic. It is gorgeous. So great atmosphere outside. You know, I mean, I don't know why in winter the weather feels great. Only reason he put his vest on because we had a little bit of wind. It feels great. Yeah. I don't understand why. I'm not going to complain about it because yesterday it was freezing rain. So
it was nasty yesterday.
It was nasty yesterday.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it was a pretty day visually because I like stormy looks, but it sucks.
Yeah.
But this is a good cigar. Again, Perdomo's Texas edition. I was getting close to saying there wasn't going to be any transitions on this cigar. There is. We had the one. The pecan comes straight away that you get that on the aromatics. You get the woody tones throughout, a little bit of pepper. And at the end, it kind of pulled what we are calling cardamom because you get that baking spice that hit pretty close to the last thirds, kind of in between the second and third, somewhere in that ballpark.
My pecan note has come out a lot more now towards the last third. It's that pecan, and it's what was the flavor?
Cardamom?
Cardamom.
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 If I'm pronouncing that correctly, right? Cardamom.
Oh.
We
I
think
just
it's
randomly
pronounced.
popped in my head because I like the name.
Well, it works. It's like when you said the umami, like you're trying to figure out what it is, and you said, and you're like, bingo.
Yep.
So, and you may taste it differently, but either way, there's some sort of baking spice transition. But great cigar. If you're down in the South and you're able to get one, they're in random regional shops, so it's hard for me to give you a place to go find them. I think I did see, unless somebody has physically carried them out of the state, they are only retailed in Texas. So you may or may not be able to get them online. We tried, couldn't find it. So if it's there, wish you well. But if you're down south, great thing to try, great thing to smoke, and it's still a Perdomo.
I'll have to find some for Chad and send it to him.
So, again, as always, I appreciate the show and that we are still on a roll of having great cigars. We've had one, so far only one on the show that we didn't like, and ironically, Chad tried it recently and he got a completely different experience. So this is why we like to do the home style reviews. These are our personal opinions. There are guys paid to review things. We don't plan to be one of those guys. Anything that we have started getting, we kick back to giveaways. We don't put them into paid reviews. That is not my plan ever, because I want to give you honest reviews, and that was one of them. Me, Woot, and Johnny tried it. We didn't like it, but Chad did like it. So you're going to have different perceptions, which is why we do it this way. This is a good one, and I think that y'all would enjoy this one if you're able to get your hands on it. So, but we got to let y'all say goodbye and go about your life, and we're going to finish these and then, unfortunately, go back to being adults.
Yep.
So,
Adulting.
Horrible. But it's been another good day, another good conversation outside of the one political note that pissed me off that luckily this man pulled me off on, because I said I wasn't going to a pedestal and I was really close to doing it because I don't like it. But good cigar, good conversation, and we'll be back soon with another great show on the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge. Until next time, stay safe and hollow down. And no camera fucking died. Ready?
Yep.
Shake off that dander.
Shake off L in it.
Suck it a little bit. Yeah.
It's going to autofocus as the sun's going down, and nothing we can do about it. It just is what it is. Outside shit.
All right, sounds good. Let's do this.
It's your boy Pat.
I'm going to use this.